Hello student, I hope you all are doing fine. Okay, in our last class, I have already given you a brief summary with regard to chapter 4, okay, that is the Indian national movement. Alright, so here in this lecture, straight away we'll start with our discussion. So before that, you'll find in page number 57, okay, so I want all of you to get ready with your textbook, okay, and with your pencil so that you can underline some of the important events, years, as well as some of the leaders, okay. All right, so to start with, we'll start with the rise of national movement, okay. So that is under the rise of nationalism in India, or in other words, the rise of national movement, okay. So in your textbook you'll find that there are 7 points mentioned, okay, but here I won't go in detail each and every individual point. All right, so I have just taken out some of the important points, okay. Three main point, that is the main reason. All right, the main reason why the Indian national movement started in India, all right, or the rise of nationalism started in India. Why the rise of nationalism started in India, right? So these are some of the main reasons which leads to the rise of nationalism in India. Point number one, the economy of India was exploited by the Britishers. Why? Is because the economy of India, right, was overexploited by the Britishers. All right, see, India, we have abundant of natural resources, okay, but remember, okay, the Britishers, they have exploited all the economy as well as the natural resources that was abundant in India, okay. They have started exploiting all those resources from India, right? Because of that reason, nationalism started in India. On the other hand, the peasants, that is the farmers, okay, and the merchants, that is the businessmen, in other words, the businessmen, okay, they were taxed heavily by the Britishers, all right. So heavy tax was imposed on peasants and merchants by the Britishers. And also we have come across in our, okay, we have come across in our early class, right, we have come across the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and the rise of Nazism, okay. So all those revolution that broke out in European nation, the result was a successful one, all right, because we see that it was mainly spearheaded by the common people and the peasants. And because of that reason, with the ideology of bringing up revolution in India, the leaders, they believe that they might get, and some, they believe that they will get freedom from British, all right. Why? Because they saw that the result was successful, the revolution was successful in some of the European nation, all right. So because of that reason, it gained more confidence, okay, in Indian nationalism. All right, so moving forward, we have the early political movement. All right, early political movement in the sense like the beginning of the political movement in India, okay. So see, even before the foundation of the Indian National Congress Party in 1885, okay, many political associations were formed in India. They were, all those association was formed mainly to promote nationalism, okay. They were all formed mainly to promote nationalism in India, or in other words, the spirit of nationalism in India, okay. So we have 6 point mentioned here, okay. So see, we have the British India, we have the British India Association that was formed in the year 1851. We have the Madras Native Association that was formed in the year 1852. And we also have the Bombay Association that was formed in the year 1852 by Dadabhai Naoroji, okay. And Suresh Nath Banerjee, who founded the Indian Association in Bengal in the year 1876. And we also have the Purna Sarjanik Sabha and the Madras Mahajan Sabha. They were set up in the year 1870 and 1884 respectively. And we have the Bombay Presidency Association that was formed in the year 1885. All right, so all those were the early political movement that was started in India. Likewise, I have shown you even in our Indian political map, okay, you see that arrow marking, right. So those area were regarded as the Bengal. Okay, and as you can also see that Bengal is located in that area. Okay, so the some of the oldest political movement, it was started in India, in Bengal. Okay, in Bengal, present day West Bengal. All right, that is before the partition took place. All right, so all those movement, it was started in India and specifically in Bengal. Okay, so moving on to our further discussion, we have the Indian National Congress. Okay, you'll find in page number 58. So under that, I'm sure you all know the symbol of the Indian National Congress Party, right? So even today we are still using the same symbol. Okay, and it is regarded as one of the oldest political party in India, right? So it was founded in December 1885. Okay, please remember the year. It was founded in the year December 1885. Okay, and the first step was taken by a retired Englishman. Okay, Mr. Alan Octavian Hume, all right, a member of the Indian Civil Service. All right, so he was the first person who took initiative in starting up the Indian National Congress Party, that is in India itself. All right, so remember the first session of the Congress was held in Bombay. Okay, present day Mumbai, or it is also known as Bombay. Okay, in the later years. Okay, in the past it was known as Bombay, and now presently it is known as Mumbai. Okay, they are both the same name. So it was founded, the first session of the Congress was held in Bombay in December 1885. That is under the presidency of Umesh Chandra Banerjee, which means Umesh Chandra Banerjee is the first president of the Indian National Congress. Okay, remember the first president is the Umesh Chandra Banerjee. Okay, he was the first president of the INC. All right, so remember, even among the Indian National Congress Party, there were lots of division, not lots, yeah, there was no unity even among Indian National Congress Party. Okay, why? Because the party was mainly divided into two, that is the moderate and the extremists. Okay, so the Indian National Congress Party was divided between moderates and extremists, and both of them, they have different ideologies, they have different objective and aim and objective. All right, so see, you will see that some of the great leaders of the extremists and the moderates are given here. So the extremist leader were the Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, Aurobindo Ghosh. Okay, so they were the famous extremist leader during the time. All right, so you'll find in page number 59. Okay, they were also regarded as Lal, Bal, and Pal. Okay, so specifically it is referring to the three leaders. Okay, that is Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal. Okay, and we also have the Aurobindo Ghosh. So they were the famous extremist leader during the time. And on the other hand, we have some of the famous moderate leaders like Dadabhai Naoroji, S.N. Banerjee, Babruddin Tabji, Firoz Shah. Okay, so they were the famous moderate leaders. All right, and so see, if you were to see the difference between them, okay, you'll find in page number 60 and 61. So basically you'll find 4 points. Okay, but for our discussion purpose, I've just given you two. Okay, so see, these are the main difference between the moderate and the radical is also known as the extremist. Okay, so see, first of all, the moderate, see, the moderate, what they wanted, right? What is the demand of the moderate? So here are the two demand of the moderates. Okay, so see, willing to change things slowly, one step at a time. So they are willing to adapt change. Okay, that is slowly. Okay, not in a form of hurrying things, but they wanted change to take place slowly. Okay, in other words, on the other hand, they prefer political method to violence. Okay, so they also prefer political method to violence. On the other hand, the radical or the extremists, they have the view of they wanted drastic change. Okay, that is changes to take place quickly, that is all or nothing. And also see, they were willing to use violence. if that gets the job done, which means some, not every time but sometime. Okay, they have mentioned in the bracket sometime, right? Which means they wanted to use violence, means they wanted to use force, okay, to fight over the Britishers with the purpose if that gets the job done, which means if their demand can be fulfilled by using force, they were willing to do so. Okay, so in your textbook you'll find, see, in page number 61. Okay, so see very clearly it is mentioned here. Okay, so point number one is the moderate had full faith in the good intention of the British government, whereas on the other hand the assertive or the radical nationalists had no faith in them. In them means in Britishers. Okay, on the other hand, see, the moderates, they wanted reforms within the British government. Alright, which means they wanted change to take place within the British government. Okay, on the other hand the assertive or the radical nationalists, they wanted Swaraj or full independence. Okay, Swaraj means full independence. Okay, which means they wanted full independence from British rule. Okay, that is the assertive or the extremists. And also the moderate used constitutional means. The assertive radical nationalists, they wanted to achieve their aim by force of their own strength. All right, so that is the another difference between the moderate view and the assertive view. And the last one is the moderate were led by educated intellectual, which means the great leaders of moderate, they were highly educated and they were very intellectual person. Okay, on the other hand the assertive radical nationalists made great sacrifices and drew masses into the struggle. This was their greatest contribution, mobilizing the young in the national movement, which means, see, one party they were willing to use force, okay, to fight over the British. On the other hand, the moderate, they were okay, they were using for they were not using force to fight over the Britishers. Okay, their main motive was through political okay, through constitutional means. Okay, clear or not? So those are some of the difference between the moderate and the radical uh, okay, radical nationalists. Okay, so that's it for our discussion. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.